Hi guys, so today we're going to be working with playing in 7, meaning 7/4 and 7/8 time. So this is a category of odd time in music, meaning it's not the typical 4/4 common time that you're going to hear with most recordings on the radio, for example. It could be 5/4, it could be 7/4, it could be 7/8, it could be 15/16, it could be 113/32. Anything that's sort of out of the ordinary. Generally, they take more practice to feel comfortable with, but once you get it down, you can get some really cool sounding music with these time signatures. So let's dive into it. So I'm going to discuss two ways of counting in 7. The first one is going to rely on a quarter note pulse, which most of you are used to. In common time, for example, you could count it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if you want to include the eighth notes, it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, if we're playing in 7/8, for example, there's going to be one less eighth note because there's only 7 of them as compared to 8 of them in 4/4. So this would be counted like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1. Okay? And you'll understand more once I start playing with that. The second way of counting is really straightforward. You're literally just going to count from 1 to 7. And these could be quarter notes or eighth notes, depending on if you're playing in 7/4 or 7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay? So now we're going to just add some basic snare drum rhythms while we count to get a good feel of what 7 feels like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1. So next we're just going to move on to some basic grooves in 7, and they're going to get a little more complex as we go on, as you'll see. So I have 4 grooves written down. I'm going to have the music here on the video with my playing, and try to follow along if you can. I'll play each groove for 4 bars and then pause and move on to the next one. And at the end, if you're comfortable with all of them, try to play them as one phrase, as I'll demonstrate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's another one just for fun before we move on to the more complex ideas. It's sort of a funky hip-hop style, and it's a 2-bar phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright guys, so now we have a pretty good feel of what it's like to play in 7. So this last exercise is something that I do all the time when I'm playing in 7/8 especially. 7/4 it's a little bit trickier to pull this off, but if you're playing in a quick 7/8 song, you can almost always stick this in there and it's gonna sound pretty cool. So essentially what we're doing is creating a 4/4 illusion over the 7/8 feel. So we do this by accenting every other eighth note. So in 4/4 music, for example, you're gonna generally accent the quarter notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in 7/8 music, as you heard by most of the other examples, that's not really the case. You're usually accenting the 1, and then you can fill in some space in between, maybe accent the 4, but there's not a consistent pulse usually. Now, what we can do, and we're doing it on the ride bell here for this example, is accent the quarter notes, but at the end of the bar, that's going to switch around. So for the first bar of 7/8, we're accenting the 1, the 3, the 5, the 7 in a 7/8 phrase, and then the second bar, we're accenting the 2, the 4, and the 6. And this 2-bar phrase, 2 bars of 7/8, is going to almost sound like it's in 4/4 because we're accenting the quarter notes. You'll understand more of what I'm talking about when you hear it demonstrated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the last exercise we're going to switch off with is trying to switch between 7/8 and 4/4. So we'll play 4 bars of 7/8 with this 4/4 illusion that we just went over, and then play regular 4/4. And try to do that a few times back and forth so you're completely comfortable with each time signature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for the lesson. Thanks for tuning in. We're just going to finish off with a snippet of a song in 7 and try to play along with me if you want. It just gives it some context to all the exercises that we've been working on. Okay, so make sure to subscribe if you want more, and I'll see you next time.